This is real life and death here. Some lessons are harder to learn than others. Some lessons I've experienced over and over again. It's crazy. That's why I only know what he knows. Hey, I only grow as he goes. Yeah, I gotta give my lessons from the journey, baby.
Good morning and happy Saturday. This is Chanel Brown, and you are watching Lessons from the Journey Live. You know, we just finished what I call my first colossal series, right? You know, Lessons from the Journey is designed to, one, help us live well together, but the only way that we can live well together is to understand how we work. And we just finished the relationship experience, and it was incredible, y'all. Hold on. Let me do some Lessons from the Journey housekeeping. If you have not yet, I want you to head on over to Lessons from the Journey on YouTube and subscribe. Subscribe. Why? Because this is a moving train of growth and development, and I don't want you to miss a moment. We have the best experts that come here and the best conversations, and I promise you, when you leave here, you're going to have tips, tricks, and nuggets to help you master the game of life. If you ain't going to master the game of life, why get up every day? Anyway, we are starting the Unparented series. Unparented is something that is unprecedented to me. It has been in my heart and it's been in my mind, and it's probably one of the most honest pieces of work that I have. It is birthed out of a song that I wrote called Captive, Shawnee's little girl. The song is really about the exploration of my inner world, and the inner world really of how I developed and come to be. And the hardest part of the song, I believe, is the fact that this little girl has to die at the end. So I want to read something, because this is going to be a series that challenges you. It's going to challenge me. It's going to challenge the people that have joined me on the journey. But I want to make sure that you're prepared. When you watch this show, there will be triggers that happen. We're going to talk about topics that are delicate subjects. Our lives have not been easy. So I just want you to be prepared. Prepare your heart and mind. Today's conversation may include sensitive topics that could be emotionally activating for some viewers. Whether you're watching live during the day or catching the replay later, please take care of yourself. Pause, step away, or return when you're ready. We're grateful you're here, and we invite you to reflect, connect, and continue the conversation with us at your own pace. That was written by my team, but now let me say this. Also, should you watch this and find that you need help or support mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, relationally, reach out, and we will make sure to connect you to the right professional. We are not doctors. We are sharing an experience that has helped us. And I have had several counselors, coaches to help me along the journey. And I will be bringing those counselors and coaches here for you to have access to them as well. So welcome to the Unparented series. Let me introduce my co-hosts for today. I have in my right hand corner, I don't know where she is in your corner, I have Renee Brown. Renee Brown is my general. She really keeps this thing all together, and she is amazing at telling the truth. And you always need that truth teller. And then I've got Nicole Romeo here with us. Nicole will be with us for all 7 episodes. Nicole is probably one of my favorite people. I'm getting weepy, so let me be careful. One of my favorite people, but also one of the kindest, most qualified friends that you'll ever experience. She came and sat with me at a time where I was very stuck within myself, and we literally painted circles until I could come out of that space. So I'm giving you access to my coach. I call her my self-coach. She's a self-coach, Nicole Romeo. And then last, you know who that is. He's like coach, dad, uncle, best friend, brother. He's everything. He's Gregory. Today he was Carl, but we're just going to call him Craig C. Carlisle. How are you, Craig?
Outstanding. How are you?
I'm amazing. Are you excited for Unparented?
I am, and I'm hungry too.
Are you hungry?
It was like the last time when we recorded too. I was hungry before the show, but we had waffles last time, so
and we don't have
waffles today on my side because somebody didn't make waffles today, like me.
Like last.
Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let me do this before we get started. Let me give the people the definition of unparented, and then I'm going to ask the tech team to play a little bit of the song that inspires this whole show. You ready? Are you ready, Craig?
Oh yeah, let's go.
Okay. Play the game with me, Craig. Unparented is a transformational series that explores what happens when a child grows up without the consistent love, protection, guidance, emotional safety, and developmental nurturing every human being needs. Not simply because parents were absent, but because the essential work of parenting was incomplete. It is the journey of uncovering the beliefs, wounds, and survival strategies that became our root system, and learning how to replace them with truth, healing, wisdom, and intentional growth. Tech team, play the song for me, please. The little girl has to die first.
I'm just a little girl for goodness sake. Crumbled and fumbled, mishandled and troubled. Shawnee's little girl ignored and mismanaged. Parented by a child left alone to be damaged. This can't be quick, my heart has been sick. Ready to die though, and need a revival. I'm sick of so-so, this I know for sure. I know I want more, I'm knocking on heaven's door. Set the captives free. Set the captives free. Let go and be at peace. Let go and be at peace. I'm way too blind to see. Oh, the captive one is me. The captive one is me.
Craig, where do we go from here?
I'm not really sure, but I know where we should go is a good spot though. Is Nicole, you have a definition for the listeners and the viewers for an orphan spirit. What is that definition?
Well, in a natural, an orphan is someone who doesn't have parents based on their death or abandonment or even not knowing their parents. In the spirit realm, an orphan can be somebody who has had parents in real life, but are unparented, like we're talking about here. Those parents either didn't have the skills or had skills that created trauma for us, lifestyle choices.
Now, technically, then that means that everyone really likely either has or has experienced an orphan spirit, right? It's not relegated to any one style or person or background.
Absolutely. It's universal.
So, Sean, tell us about you, because that brings us right back to where we are with Unparented, right? Mm-hmm. Where part of your background is you were girl 6 for a number of, I don't say days, hours. There was a period of time where you didn't have a name.
I didn't have a
name. You were
name.
orphaned. You were left behind.
Yeah, no identity.
How does that?
Go ahead.
How does that still resonate with you?
It doesn't just resonate with me. I'm still walking through it, trying to find my identity. I'm learning a lot about what it's like for a baby, as I'm a grandmother who comes into the world without physical touch. One of the things that God said to me was, you were taken care of, but you were taken care of by nobody that loved you. And when I heard that in my spirit, for the first 30 days, as I look at my grandson, who's going to be a year old in a few weeks, I was like, wow, that means I had the change the diaper, feed the baby. You know, I had that, but the connection internally. I had been inside of my mother's womb for 9 months, and then to be taken out and instantly separated. That means that there was nothing familiar to me. And when I think about that, it makes me shudder on the inside, because it also explains a lot of my core wounds and the way I feel. Like, it's an internal feeling of not belonging, not feeling safe, feeling sad and repressed. It's just a weird thing. And it's like, I can't shake that, but I now know that to be a core wound.
Nicole, how do you help help a person with that kind of orphan spirit? It's not something you just, shake it up and suck it up and live, right? It's something, it's a process, right? I mean, it's a daily move.
It's daily. Let's go back to the baby though. If you're in the hospital when you're first born and you don't take a bottle, you don't eat, you start to be malnourished. They call it failure to thrive. But they don't look at what that does to you emotionally, or they haven't in the past. Nowadays, you have a child, they make you go skin to skin almost immediately. But back in the day when Sean was born, they will snatch that baby, put it in the incubator, give it a bottle. Oh, it's thriving, it's gaining weight. Oh, it's not malnourished, it's dry, it's fine. But the human touch was missing, which creates then for that person not being seen, not being known, and not being loved right there in the incubator before they even have a word for it.
I mean,
so how do we help someone like that? Or do you want to follow up with another question? Go ahead.
No, please go from where you were going to say, please.
Please.
I think for me, what has helped me is making connectivity, helping others who have a failure to thrive or a failure to, it's one thing to survive. I think they should change the name of failure to thrive to failure to survive. Then they'd really understand that what they're doing is helping people survive. That's survivor's mentality that takes people through when they have that orphan spirit. Yeah, I made it. I helped others survive. I didn't die. I'm how much? 50, 60, 70 years old. Dealt with a woman who was 84, who had never told anybody that feeling that she had or that she had been abused. We gave her a space for that. And then we opened the door to her healing by acknowledging the pain that she had gone through. We have to see it. We have to feel it to heal it.
It's really, really hard. Nicole has worked with me extensively. I mean, extensively to get even to this place, because it was so repressed down on the inside of me. I didn't even know that about myself until sometime around 2020. I didn't even know that my name was Girl 6. I happened to run across it. So it's not like somebody was telling me. I read this week. In the first few years of life, a baby's brain forms over 1 million new neural connections per second. By age 3, 80% of their brain architecture is already built. The quality of caregiving is the single biggest factor in how this all unfolds. And I was left with, let me think about my first 3 years. I went the first 29 days. I was in wherever. I don't know. I know you don't stay at the hospital, but I don't know what kind of holding facility they put a baby, because, they can't give me to my mother if they're going to put me up for adoption. They can't give me a name. They can't place me, right? So I don't know what happens in between there. Then I'm picked up from that space and taken to foster care with my mother. My mother's only allowed to stay for a very short time, and then she has to leave the foster care. So now I'm in another new environment with new caregivers without her. Then on the weekends, sometime down the line, I am able to go to my grandparents' house. Then there's some kind of surgery that takes place. I get sick, there's a surgery. And then I think around 9 months, I'm able to come live with my grandparents and my mother. Then by May, my mother graduates from high school. And the day after high school, we moved to the South Bay in with my uncle, 2 cousins, and it's my mom and me. Then by 3, I live in another apartment with my mom. So when I think about that, I made so much sense. The anxiety I feel on the inside, in that song, we just played the rap part. I'm just a little girl, for goodness sake, crumbled and fumbled, mishandled and troubled. Shawnee's little girl ignored. You get what I'm saying? When I rapped that, I was like, it was like the truth being exposed through me, because I didn't have words for that 0 to 3-year-old experience. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, and especially for when you said you don't have any words, because as an infant to 3 years old, you wouldn't have any words anyway. You would just have the feeling, the emotional aspect of it, I don't know what you call it. I guess that's the best way to say it. It's an imprint, right?
It's an imprint.
Yeah.
The lack of connectivity.
It's an imprint.
So if that's what you've learned, because it takes 66 days to make a habit. So over a 9-month or 3-year period, your brain learned that disconnection is normal. Mm-hmm. So connection is abnormal. So you have to be very intentional on connectivity. And then it sounds like we would have to then be really intentional about what types of connections, understand what are healthy and what are unhealthy. Mm-hmm. When you are dealing with that kind of experience, Nicole, what are some tools? What are some keys? What are some things that we do to help people like Sean, like us, who've been there?
Sense of belonging is so important. It sounds as though when you look at a child who stands in a corner or over engages one extreme or the next, you know that there's that need for connectivity, that need to belong to something or someone. And so to be shuffled for 9 months, 9 years, 10 years, decades in the foster care system, or even a reunification that isn't really reunifying, you then say to yourself, I don't belong to anyone. Mm-hmm. I don't belong anywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm just here. I'll just be invisible. Mm-hmm. And so getting people to see who they really are, who they were born to be, finding purpose to heal and inspire them to walk that purpose out, that's how we break that cycle of self-inflicted continual rewounding.
But what do we do though? Because I mean, it's that's a beautiful definition. It sounds wonderful. And I guess, and for a person who doesn't believe that they have that issue, it's like, oh, that's easy to do. Just do it. Nope. Why are you still talking about this? Why are you bringing up over 30 years, 50 years? How do we, maybe it's a 2-part question. How do we help those who don't understand what we've been through? And then how do we help that person who's going through that what do we do when we're having those moments to go back to that experience? Because that's what we know so much better.
So let's talk about me. I grew up as an immigrant to America. So I did not really fit into school. And then at home, being very, very introverted in a family of extroverts, I didn't fit there either. So I was in a world of learning how to navigate myself in both situations. Today, you'd call that code switching. You'd call that making yourself invisible. So what helped me was people who created safe spaces. Mm-hmm. And in order to get to those safe spaces, my wall of trust had to go from a negative 25 up to a 0, even just to get to be able to enter into a space where people can be trustworthy. People can be trusted. I can walk alongside these people as either a peer or as someone who's known. So opening those spaces for people.
It's tough for me to even do that because I find that I want to dig that moat deeper and wider around the castle and make the castle walls thicker and taller because I don't want anyone in to hurt me again or to take advantage of my loss anymore.
So then, building within the castle, a lot of the work I do is helping people learn the skills of inner work. Because I can be fine talking in front of 25,000 people. I don't have a problem with it. But talking one-to-one, that's when I would have issues. Letting someone see my heart, letting my walls down. I'll talk to 25,000 people. It's a great day in the neighborhood. Look at how the world is wonderful. I'm an artist, I'm a poet, I'm a public speaker. But don't come over and have coffee. I had to shift that.
Sean, you're building Shawneeville. It's a neighborhood. It's a community.
Yeah.
That's at the core of what you've always wanted is a community and connection. You want neighbors. You want Sean.
Friends.
You want Nicole to come over and have coffee.
Yeah.
You want to go to Nicole's house and have coffee.
Yeah. I want to learn from Nicole. I want to live with Nicole. I want to play with Nicole. I want to collaborate with Nicole. And that's what God intended for this whole thing to be, his children collaborating and playing and working together and co-laboring and the whole family. We're a family. But when the ecosystem doesn't function together, when one member of the ecosystem is wounded, the whole ecosystem starts to get permeated. So to me, Shawneeville was like, I don't have to wait for somebody to create it. I can live well, start living well together within myself, and then join someone else who wants to live well together with me, and then create spaces, lanes, bridges, and pathways that lead people and bring people into the places they want to be. If you don't want to be here, listen, anybody who knows me will tell you, my doors are open, and should you decide to go, bye-bye. It's okay, because I want everybody to be doing exactly what they were called and created to do. And these unparented wounds keep us from the relationships and locked outside of everything what we were really called and created to be. This music for me, so you guys talk about talking. I could talk to 1, I could talk to 10, I could talk to 1,000, not a problem. But you know when I got crazy for me? Was when I got in that studio. I couldn't do it. And it was making me so frustrated. I want to bring Renee in here, and you guys cannot see my Renee. She is battling right now at Stanford Hospital, and I'm proud of her. So I told her she didn't have to put her face on the camera today. But Nene, you were at the studio with me. What did you experience? Nene Boots, can you hear me?
Well, I can share the story. Some of the stories that she has told.
Go ahead.
She said she has told the story that she thought he was being real violent towards you and verbally and really abusive and, really coming at you in a way that was uncool. And I would have to imagine, based on your story, some of the stories that you've shared, that may have you, oddly enough, connect with that negativity, connect with that aggression, and connect with that you're not good enough. And he didn't say that you weren't good enough. He didn't say that you sucked. He was probably given instruction in a way that was constructive. Say, hey, and some of it felt destructive and felt off. But my question is, when you went there and you heard it, when you're able to look back on it now, how much of it was it something he said that was directly negative versus how much of it did you feel that it was negative just because you connected with the negativity from your past?
Here's what's so crazy about the studio. I was so frozen. I was so internally frozen. He literally had to yell at me. I was shell shocked. And see, all these words that I wrote them like, oh, that's cute. Da, 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 blah, blah, blah. So I could write them through my numbness. I could talk them through my numbness. But when I went in there to sing them, or I couldn't do it. And I would, it was like my heart would start racing. My throat would tighten. I couldn't hear anymore. My vision would go blurry. I had never experienced anything like that. Listen, this song, Captive, it took me so long. I spent 8 hours in the studio trying to get this song. 8 hours. And it sounded horrible when I was done. So the he that Craig was talking about was Q made the beat. And Q, I just want to say to him, thank you. Thank you for your gift and your talents. Thank you for seeing my gifts and talents and calling them out. And thank you for not letting me quit, because I wanted to. Like, so many times I wanted to, but I didn't realize that what I was writing was my rescue mission. So when I write the words, so insane, so much pain going on inside her brain, that's real. It was so much pain. I'm not kidding you. I would just be like, on a regular, I just want to leave here. Why do you keep saving my life? I hate it here. But on the outside, I'm the hair doctor and I'm smiley. And then I'm Quentin's mom at the baseball. And I am Lena Patton's daughter. And I am Lena Brown's mother. And I am Andre's wife. And I have to be all these people, but I never became me. So it's built on a foundation of so insane, so much pain. I'm just a little girl, for goodness sake. I'm crumbled and fumbled, mishandled. Shawnee's little girl, ignored and mismanaged, parentified child left alone to be damaged. This can't be quick. My heart has been sick, ready to die though, in need of revival. I'm sick of so. This I know for sure. I know I want more. I'm knocking on heaven's door. I wrote those words and I meant every syllable. My first 3 years was a piece of cake. Go ahead, Nicole.
That voice was finally heard. That sounds like somebody who hadn't been seen, heard, or known for so long finally got a voice, scared the living daylights out of them to be heard, seen, or known, because I've been in hiding for so long.
Yeah.
But now you're giving me a voice, you're giving me a space to talk. What if you shut me up like I've been shut up before?
Mm-hmm. You know, the music is the key, because my heart is frozen. Like I'm on ice, and I got frozen in places where, you know, you get molested. Shh, don't tell it to anybody.
Absolutely.
Put a gun in your face. Shh, we don't even address it. A gun was put in my face. My mother picked me up and we went to my other grandmother's house like that didn't happen. And we never talked about it again. What happens
shutting her mouth?
What happens to the
now
trauma?
Now she's talking, she's scared.
That's right.
Because there are repercussions every time she spoke up. So now you, as the grown-up, can tell her, yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Come on out.
It's okay.
Come on out and play.
It's okay.
Be creative.
So I had to fight.
I love it too, because when you came out though, and like when Nicole was saying, you were given that avenue without having to worry about the negative or the punishment for coming out, right? The consequence. It's almost like it was shocking. It's like, now what do I do? What do you mean? I can't go out there. I ain't never been out there before.
Mm-hmm. That's a whole nother thing.
But now you've been out in the studio now since then. And it's a whole different experience now. It's a coming out party.
It's a coming out party. But, you know, let me tell you what's crazy. We went to the studio. Renee went with me. We went to record the new lesson song, and we went to record the other two songs, Tell Me and, oh my gosh. Life. We went to, I love Life. Life gives me life. But we went to go record those 3 songs. And let me tell you about the imprint on me. So I'm in the studio and we're recording Tell Me. And in my mind, this is what's happening. You sound terrible. And he's so through with you. He's not even going to tell you that you sound terrible. He's just going to let you record this and it's going to be terrible. You're terrible. That's all I kept hearing is you're terrible. You're terrible. You're terrible. And so finally the you're terrible was driving me so crazy. I just went, Q. You're not even telling me. Do you even care anymore? He goes, what are you talking about? I go, you're not even yelling at me. He said, can you let me grow? And that was the first thing that shocked me because I'm so codependent. The thought of me holding somebody back from their growth, it actually hurt my feelings. And then he said, I'm not saying anything to you because you're doing it right. But I couldn't recognize it. I couldn't recognize that I was doing okay. And
I think that's where the parenting part comes in, where the unparented part comes in, because as parents, we're supposed to be coaches, right? We're supposed to be encouraging and not always negative, right? Yes, tell the truth, but there's a way to tell truth and love. And every child, every person should have a way that they can be reached, a communication style. And with you not having the parent to research and listen how you needed to be spoken to and encouraged, you thought there's only one way. It's the stick, right?
Yep.
Versus, we're going to give the food, the apple, right? But you got the stick over and over and over again. And so it took a moment of shock to go, there's no stick. What is this carrot thing? Oh, it's an orange stick?
It's crazy.
Nicole, so what do we do with that?
If I get so used to pain of being abused and abandoned and hurt, when somebody comes along that gives me softness or gives me grace, how do I even recognize that? And how do I accept it?
I didn't know how. I didn't know how. I didn't even know. I still can't hear. I don't know my own voice. Does that make sense? And my ear is impeccable. Okay. But not concerning me.
I think you're learning to hear, Sean. I think you're learning to hear because the songs are evolving, just like you're evolving.
Yep, they are.
They're not the same as they were years and years ago. Mm-mm. The inside voice is beginning to say, okay, I like what I said there, versus, oh man, that sounds terrible.
So
when you write to heal and write to feel and open up your own poetic heart and give it to other people so they too can do that, it's like cooking a good meal. You don't just enjoy it for yourself. You share it with others.
And I think that's what Rescue Mission is for me, and the Shawnee Project and Lorado LaShawn. There's 3 different projects, but those music projects are saving my life. And in them, I've given LaShawn, because this is about LaShawn. I love my personas. My personas are dope. Shawnee, Little Shawnee Sunshine. Chanel Brown is a persona, y'all. So when you see me sit here as Chanel Brown, it's a persona. But the problem is LaShawn just couldn't embrace being LaShawn. So the personas get worn out, right? Because they're carrying so much weight from LaShawn refusing to come out the closet. So when I listen to those early tracks, right, it sounds like I'm in the closet. My voice sounds muffled to me. It sounds like I'm behind it. Not behind the beat, but like I'm not willing to step. But that is the reality of what is going on in that moment. And I kept saying I should just go re-record them and fix them. So and then I just heard the Holy Spirit say, no, leave them just like they are. That's Absolutely. The authenticity of the moment.
And the authenticity of your identity is that's how you go from roles to identity. I think early on in this conversation, you were talking about the different roles that you have. If I am only defined by my roles, then I am never going to understand who I truly am. I am always somebody else's something, looking to them for validation. But at the end of the day, when I look in the mirror and I look in my own eyes, am I okay with me?
Yeah, there's a part in Captive where I say, look inside of her eyes. Can't you see what makes her cry? It's all a lie, but she tries. Baby girl, just bide your time. That was the existence. Just bide your time. It's almost over. You'll get out of here. You're going to, I just, 3 brain surgeries, 2 cancers, infections don't heal. I'm like, I got to be dying soon. It's got to be over soon. But God kept saving my life and bringing me back. I mean, I can remember waking up from one of the surgeries and going, oh my God, I'm still here. But all this little girl has ever known was exhaustion from trying to figure out who to be. I got to show up for you like this. I got to show up for you like that. I can't say no. Don't touch me like that. I can't.
No voice.
No voice.
Yeah, no voice.
There's nobody even listening to me.
No choice.
Yep. No voice, no choice. Oh, I love that, Nicole. No voice, no choice. No voice, no choice. None.
The coolest thing is that God knows who you are. And when we get squeezed, we see what's in us and what's coming out of you now. All this creativity is what's been choiceless and voiceless for so long.
And it feels
quiet.
I'm sorry.
Be quiet. Sit over there. Don't do this. Don't do that. But what about the song? What about the words I hear in my mind? Mm-hmm. What about healing somebody else? Because that's your heart, to bring healing. What about that? That's where the voice come in. And that's the choices you've been making. And so I see you have grown in that from my experience of you.
Yeah, it's been a fight. Last week I had to take the ACEs study again. And so for those of you that don't know what ACEs study is, it is the Adverse Childhood Experiences survey, I guess, ACEs, something like that. So you take this survey and they ask you questions, trigger warning, people, trigger warning. They ask you questions like, have you ever been hit, kicked, slapped by a caregiver? Have you ever been sexually assaulted? Have you ever experienced a parent in prison? Have you been exposed to a parent with mental illness? It asks you all those kind of things. Well, 1 in the ACEs study, if you score a 1, that is you are aligned. You had a good, stable foundation. I scored a 9. So the first time that I took it, the physician said, and I was 48 the first time I took it, she said, if you don't get a handle on your inner world, you will die by 52. She said, you won't be able to survive. And I talk about my illnesses because I know now that my inner world has a lot to do with 3 brain surgeries, almost dying from an infection that went all the way down to my fascia to have my son, contributed to my son being born premature, having blood pressure at one time of 231 over 120, blood transfusions, infections, having my brain have to be literally, my scalp grew on top of the staples. Those had to be cut out and dug out of my head. It was like me and my body were at war. So when I read books like Your Body Keeps the Score.
Absolutely.
It really does. All of the head work was important, right? But it didn't matter because what was happening to me was inside of me. So until I dealt with that, me and God, and it is a very long process. It's a very long process. Craig, do you have
goes down to that healing, goes down to that cellular level.
Yeah.
And your cells are going to believe whatever you tell them. And as you tell them, I don't want to be here, I don't like this. Yeah.
I love that. Go ahead, Craig.
I love the personas that you have. And at the same time, it's like the personas were given the right to excel and the right to be associated with something that was whatever that situation was. Mm-hmm. And in the case of a persona being associated with somebody dope, well, that was the persona that was dope. It wasn't Sean. It wasn't me.
That's right.
I can give this persona to the shine.
That's right.
And shine to the persona. And me, myself, I can still slouch and I'm going to hide and not be seen because I'm not seen. And
that's right.
I'm excited for the time period where all your personas are rolled up into you. And was it Houdini or somebody used to say, there's 5 people inside of me, right? and just be confident and excited about the unification of that person, right? Because
I love that word.
They're all who you are. And you've learned to move between them effortlessly because you've gone from one protective shell to another protective shell. But when you go back to you, or used to go back to you, we're not going to speak that anymore. So when you used to go back to the little girl in the closet, in some cases that was the 0 mark, that was the level. When in reality, you don't have to live at the pool of Bethesda anymore.
No.
You can get up and be healed and free because you are already healed and free. And as you are showing all of the people that follow and listen to the people you've taught that, hey, these are the keys to success. These are how you do things. You can come live in Shawneeville, whether it be a physical space as it's growing to be or a virtual space as it is currently. You can become 3 things: a securely loved being, which is truly one thing. And I think that's really what I'm most excited about in working with you is you're showing people that it's possible to come from such a tragic, trauma-stricken place and live successfully away from that home and create a new home. When you think about that opportunity, how does it make you feel in terms of realizing that, yeah, you can help the billions of people. I'm sure you got the number in your head for today, how many billions of people is on the planet. But there's difference between helping them and being the catalyst for change that they see.
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that question, so I'm just going to answer it with what I hear. There's a lot of LaShawns out there. And when I first started following him for real in 1997, shortly after that, I had Q, and I was in the hospital for a very long time. And I finished reading Job. And then I heard the Lord say, I'm going to make you a living, breathing testimony of my goodness, grace, and mercy. And this work that I'm doing today, I believe this is the physical manifestation of that. My son's going to be 28. So, it's 28-year process to get here from I'm going to make you a living, breathing testimony of my goodness, grace, and mercy. But he didn't tell me that it would be a 28-year journey before I even reached the tip of what that means. My imprint is deep, and I'm not ever going to lie to y'all. I am working hard on this imprint. As beautiful as all these things that are manifesting around me are, there's still a belief system that I'm bad or I'm lazy or not good or beautiful. There's still all those things. But that's a part of the process. Everybody's in a process. God asked me, what am I saving you from right now? And what I realize he's saving me from is my inner child world. This is the work now for me, is the inner child work this year. To redevelop her, let her become, let her get raised up, let her be okay with inner self so that when I do step on a stage, it's fully me on that stage. And whatever persona I want to drive, I get to drive it. That's how I see my personas. It's the whole LaShawn that doesn't get to go out to the garage and decide which car she wants to drive. My personas are vehicles. I get in them and they drive me, right? It's like Iron Man. He gets in the suit and the suit gives him the ability to do. And that's how I feel. But Tony Stark was very comfortable being Tony Stark. I just am not fully comfortable being LaShawn Ronette Levons yet. But that's the work that I have.
That's the part where I'm excited for you to get to help all of the Sean L. Browns out there to become that confident person inside of the suit, because the suit are extensions of you. They amplify who you are, because you're still the same pilot. You're still the one out there kicking butt out there. You know what I'm saying? You're still out there slaying them dragons, slaying them demons, no matter what suit you're wearing, or if you're standing flat foot with just the skin suit on. You know what I'm saying? Because you're still that same dope individual that can write lyrics, that can sing songs, that can do hair, that can teach someone how to do hair with your blindfolded just by touching it. Just everything else as a counselor would do. And yeah, so you love the 49ers. Everybody's got a flaw. But anyway, just kidding. Just kidding. All
He's just serious. Just serious weirdo.
I know. But it's that part I think that we're all striving to become, right? It's like with the album project that gave me the critique on. It's a part of becoming, and it's allowing ourselves the grace to be able to become still, because we haven't achieved yet. We haven't arrived. Nicole, how do we help people with the late arrival? How do we help people with the delays in transit? How do we help people who may have lost their luggage in the airport, that are sitting here waiting in some other airport, waiting for their baggage to get back to them so they can change their clothes and put on another suit so they can continue their journey? How do we help us with that?
Can I speak to your inner child for a moment, Shawnee?
Yeah.
Hey, girl. I want you to know that you're okay. You made it. You grew up. And you came out of the trauma hole. The thing about the littles on the inside is that we all born like a nice glass of water, a clean glass of water. But as we go through things, we make these ice cubes, these little compartments inside of ourselves to cope with whatever thing that comes up. And I like the word unification that Craig used a few minutes. It's really an integration. It's a remelting. I know you'll come up with an acronym for remelting. Melt, to get yourself back into wholeness. So I invite you, little ones, to come forward in safety, to come forward in knowing that you made it through the trauma, that you didn't die on the plane, you didn't die in the suitcase, you didn't die, and you don't have to die. That's the beauty of it. Heaven can be here.
That's right.
God created you uniquely designed for these purposes. And every single one of you are needed. There's no part of you, even the ones that get annoyed, that are unnecessary. And I say, yes, I accept all of you. Warts and all, as we would say. As that glass of ice melts into that cool water that you can sit back and drink once again, just know you're loved in whatever form you're in.
Is the knowing that you're loved the key?
I think understanding the personal encounter, not the over-the-counter God. I'm not God in a box, but somebody who creatively designed me so uniquely different from Sean L. Brown that I'm able to sit here and talk to Sean L. Brown, and Sean L. Brown is able to then talk to me, and we each give each other that which we need on purpose, with purpose. Not Craig couldn't talk to you the way I talk to you, and I couldn't talk to Craig like you talk to Craig. You've known each other for long. God knows all of us. The uniqueness that we need to heal.
For me, with piggybacking on what you just said, Nicole, I had to come to a point where I loved me. It wasn't good enough to know that God loved me or that someone else loved me, because I didn't love me. Right? So I had to practice. Yeah, I just had to make sure I understood that God's going to love me unconditionally, but then I had to get out of that mindset of, why, God, I suck, and I'm this, and I'm that.
So what I hear you saying, Craig, is that you had to accept the way God saw you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that right there, that part right there, helped me then understand that I don't give a rip about what anybody else thinks about me. Because God says I'm cool.
And God don't make junk.
Nope.
I want to ask both of you, but isn't there layers to that? because that's not always true. I'm just telling you from my own
It's not
perspective.
simple.
I feel like there's layers to like, and I feel like first I don't even understand God's love for me, and I don't know if I can really love myself until I understand God's love for me because I didn't create me. And I feel like I keep hearing, I think it's Jeremiah 1:5. I knew you before I formed you in the womb of your mother. So do I love the me that God designed me to be? And then how do I know that I do? Craig, I'm going to ask that question. Do you love the you that God designed, and how do you know?
I'm learning to love that guy, right? Because I'm an electrical engineer by degree, right? There's some of the formulas, there's some of the concepts. One of called it's the right hand rule in terms of how electricity flows down a cable. So when you go flip the switch, there's electricity running down the copper wire, right? Science will say that the electrons are moving around a certain way on the wire, but we can't see it. There's no real way to prove it without all of these pages and pages of theorems, right? I didn't understand it. I had to get to a point where, you know what? If that's what the theorem says, if that's the given, if that's the constant is God's love, if that's the constant in terms of what this belief is, I'm going to accept that as the constant. God loves me unconditionally with a love that only he can give. I don't have to understand why he does it. He does it. He loves the just and the unjust. He loves those who hurt me and the ones that love me. And he also loves me. So I had to stop allowing the enemy to get me tripped up on the why. And I just had to lean into the how and the because. And once I finally could wrap my head around, well, he just does. Then it allowed me to move to something new, another part to worry about me, then accepting that, well, God loves me even when I fart on camera or I make a mistake or I do something wrong. That took years and took practice to do that. It took repetition. And I love what, Nicole, you had said. You said, what did you say? Write and heal? Is that what you had said earlier?
Writing to heal, writing to feel.
And when you said that, what came to me was that's a continuing process. I didn't take it as I write one thing and I'm healed. It's as I'm writing out these things, as I'm doing these things repetitively, I'm going to get it one of these times. It's going to make sense to me more and more I do. And so that's the only thing that helped me. Those layers. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. There's some layers to this stuff.
What's layers?
We just got to be able to accept layers.
Yeah. Yeah. You said like peeling an onion, Nicole?
Oh, yeah. You're not going to get to the core at the first peel, but you're getting something off, right?
Yeah. It just takes
peel down and down.
It takes me to John 15.
Funny. I love the peel. I hate the fact that I work in a grocery store, but I love the fact that I work in a grocery store because an onion, even the strange skin on the outside of the onion that's always seems to get in the way, always seems to leave the biggest mess, those are still parts of the onion.
It's part of it. It has a purpose. I don't know what it is, but it has one.
Oh, as a chef, you can use that for a whole lot of stuff. You can even dye clothes with the outside of an onion.
See? So everything, I didn't even know. To me, that was just like paper, trash, throw that away because I don't know what I'm doing with that. And that's that. Thank you, Nicole. That's what's happening in my life right now. There's parts I've been trying to throw away because I didn't know what to do with them. And so I'm trying to learn them now.
You know what I love, though, too, about the community that you're building? You have such a faith in God and love for God that you're obedient to his word and willing your life independently of whether you understand the purpose of it or not. You're just building these things. So you've built a space, what do you call it? Place bridges and pathways. You built this space where people can come and we can be in community so we can learn not about each other. Yeah, we're learning about that anyway, but we're learning about God, right?
Yep.
I didn't know until I dealt with a dietitian that an onion was a vegetable. The lady was like, "What do you think it was?"
That's what I was saying. What do you think it was?
I didn't have a concept or thought. That's how limited my thought process was. Right. So we go back to what you've been saying about your life, and we talk unparented. You, me, some of us didn't realize the other Sean's in the world, the Craig's in the world, didn't know that we were already securely loved beings in God's eyes. Now because we're learning that through people like Nicole coming through and other people coming through to help teach us, we're learning that, in our own eyes, I am a securely loved being.
Mhm.
But that doesn't mean we feel secure in every moment. But I'm gonna try it again.
But that's the childlikeness of it, right? So having a grandson and really getting to step outside and watch. You know, when he's sad, he cries. So he doesn't feel always happy. And then when he's mad, and then when he falls down, he may get frustrated. But he's allowed to have all these emotions. And I feel like what God is teaching me is you're just simply a human. And you have sad and happy and mad and confused. We're reading a book on emotions right now, all about that every single day. So the realities of being a human is sometimes it's going to rain, and sometimes it's going to be brutally hot, and some days it's going to be the perfect spring day. But that is the process of life as long as you're on the planet. There's not going to be a day where growth and development do not come without some form of struggle, trial, and stretch. Not going to be. So my tech team is cueing me that I'm 5 minutes away from the end, and I want to check back, and hopefully, Renee, can I get a quick, just a comment from you on this episode? Did we answer all your questions, producer Nene?
Yes, she did. And, I just wanted to comment on the part where you said that God told you you were Job. And I remember when I first met you and we were talking and you were telling me all the stuff that you were going through. And I was learning the books of the Bible and I read Job and I came back to you and I said, you are the modern day Job. Like,
Wow.
it's here. I see it in person. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, I was mind blown by it, But then it also let me see that, we all go through different things and we all deal with them different ways, right?
Yeah.
We're all unparented. Okay. We are all unparented in some type of way. Even the people who had parents when they grew up, 2 people in a household, you're still unparented in some type of way. There's something there, right? But what I see in you is the ability to work through those things, the ability, first of all, to take ownership of it, right? Because a lot of times we're just like, it's everybody else's problem. It's not me, it's them. You know what I'm saying? But what I've learned is, we have to go inside ourselves. And the part about liking yourself and when did you start liking yourself? I hated myself for a long time. Long time. Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong. Everything was wrong with me. Nobody liked me. Da 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 da. But then I came to a point, and I feel like this comes with age. I came to a point where I didn't care. I didn't care what people thought. And when you can get to the point where you don't care what people think and you can live your life on those terms, on your own terms, it becomes so much easier to deal with your inner self. Because we're always trying to perform for somebody.
Yep.
We're always trying to be that person, right? When you walk in, they're expecting this person, so I got to be her. But today I don't feel like being her. So then what happens when you don't feel like being her? Now everybody's mad at you, right?
Yeah.
So now you got this feeling of you disappointed people. That's going back to being disappointing your parents or disappointing, So it's a constant battle to stay focused on you, right?
Yeah.
Because life's going to throw you lots of things and there's going to be lots of challenges, but it's how you handle those challenges that makes you the person that you are. And I just want to say, Shiny B, you be handling the challenges, girl. I'm going to get you out the closet in a minute, but we be handling the challenges.
I just love you so, so much.
Absolutely. Love you, Renee.
We really do. Nicole, where can the people find you? Because I just have a feeling you're about to be very, very sought after after this series. Where can they find you?
NicoleERomeo.com, heartchange.org. Those are my 2.
Amen. And is there anything coming up that they can access you potentially, either virtually or in person?
We do have 3 Heart Change workshops coming up. I'll be in Boise, Idaho, Roseville, California, and Hilo, Hawaii, to
Ooh.
do the 4-day inner healing workshop that we're going to talk about in another episode, the Heart Change Workshop. So those three are coming up
That
very soon.
sounds very exciting to my inner world. I love that. Craig, can you share with us what projects you're got cooking up?
Well, at the moment, I'm kind of one thing I want to make sure I say first is for those who have been watching this episode at this point, just know that as adults, we're often told we can't have these sad times and sad experiences and like a child has to, and we've got to suck it up and live and suck it up and live doesn't mean that you can't express the feelings you have at the moment. You got to go through those and go through, right?
That's right.
I'm working on, I have the Love Again and Again project that's out right now. It came out in February. I am working on another one right now called Lost and Found. It's just kind of my life in music. And I wrote a gospel record probably over the last few days, hours, moments, minutes that we're working on now. Myself and Be Ready will probably put together and release a kind of tandem album A and album B, just some gospel music for, those Christians of us who love God and still want to ride and bang in the Jeep.
Amen. Amen.
It's untitled so far, though.
Untitled. It's in the works.
In the works.
And so will you come back, Nicole? Will you come back for the next episode? Yes? Perfect. All right, y'all. We are going to wrap. And again, when you want to check in with us, just jump on over to the Lessons from the Journey YouTube channel. That's where you can find everything that you need that's going on currently for Lessons from the Journey. I am your host and the creator, Sean L. Brown. And until I see you next Saturday at 10 a.m., what do I want you to do? Go love your life. Peace.
This is real life and death here. Some lessons are harder to learn than others. Some lessons I've experienced over and over again. It's crazy. That's why I only know what he knows. Hey, I only grow as he goes. Yeah.